everyone, it's Mrs. Deans. How are you all? I hope you had a really good half term. And for your home learning, we've got lots of really fun activities for you. In English, we're going to be using a new book. And I've got a picture of the front cover here. So what can we see on this front cover? I can see the sea. I can see this really tall, stripy building. Somebody at the top of that stripy building. And a wire or a rope. And it looks like a picnic basket. And a pesky seagull. The title of this book is The Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch. And this is the lighthouse keeper here. His name is Mr. Grinling. So, what we'd like you to do is to have a look at the Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch video, or you could have a read of the story if you've got it at home. And I want you to think about these different questions. Where's the setting for the story? Who are the main characters? Were there any good or bad characters in the story? Did you like the story? And if you did, tell me why. What was your favourite part? And if you didn't, what was it that you didn't like? Don't forget, you've also got your Bug Club accounts, so do keep on using Bug Club to practice your reading. It's a really, really good tool to use. For your writing task, we've got 3 different writing tasks for you. The first one is a story map of the Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch. So you can see it's called a storyboard. So in each box it says on Monday. You could draw a picture of what happens on Monday, and then to challenge yourself you could write a sentence. So it says on Monday, you'd have to write in what happened. And the same for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So that's activity number 1. The second activity is to describe the setting of the story. Now the setting is where the story happens. So the setting for this story is that very tall building that's stripy. It's a lighthouse. So where is the story set? Can you describe what it looks like? What might you hear? Remember to use your senses. What might it smell like near the lighthouse keeper's lighthouse? Activity 3, there are some comprehension questions about the story. So right at the back of the planning, you'll see these questions at the back, and it says, where was Mr. and Mrs. Grinling's little white cottage? Was it in the mountains? Was it in a wood? I wonder. So work your way through. With these sentences, don't forget your capital letters, finger spaces, and your full stops. Ha! As a challenge, there are some quite tricky words in this story. We've got a word, it says scrumptious. I wonder what that word means. If I had a scrumptious lunch, would I be saying that my lunch was disgusting? Or would I be saying that my lunch was delicious? Perhaps you could have a go using a dictionary to find out what these words mean. That's your challenge activity. In our phonics, we're learning different ways to say the Y sound or the Y. Okay. If I said the words yellow, gin, sky and penny, each of those words has got the Y grapheme in it, but the Y grapheme makes a different sound in each of those words. What you've got is a word sort activity. We've got the word yes, happy, yet and story. So if you notice, the Y grapheme is in each of the words, but it's making a different sound. Can you try and arrange those words into the right columns? So if you were thinking of yellow and the word yes, you'd put yes in the yellow column. If you were thinking of the word story, you would put the word word story in the penny column because the Y grapheme is making the E sound. Story, penny. Have a go. Then I've got some silly sentences for you to write. So have a go at reading the silly sentences and then maybe trying to put a word with the different Y grapheme sound into a sentence. Okay, with science, we'd like you to be nature detectives. Go out and look for signs of spring and summer. What's happened to the plants and the trees? Has the temperature changed at all? What about what time it gets dark? What have you noticed? We've got a really nice clip for you to look at with the different seasons on it. So do go and take a look. In D&T, you're going to think about designing and making your very own lighthouse. Now, lighthouses tend to be stripy, white and red, but actually they can be different shapes, they can be different colours. And we'd like you to look at some pictures of some lighthouses and then think about what your own lighthouse might look like. Do you want to have a cone shape or would yours be square? We'd like you to sketch that lighthouse and colour it in using colouring pencils. Make sure you're colouring within the lines. With your maths, we're looking at numbers to 100. So behind me over here, you can see I've got 100 square. Now 100 squares are really good for spotting patterns. If I chose the number 35, and I wanted to find out what 1 less than 35 would be, if I'm finding out 1 less, which way would I go? Would the numbers get bigger or would the numbers get smaller? If I'm finding 1 less, I'm jumping back. So the answer would be 34. Let's go back to number 35 again. What if I wanted to find 1 more? Which way would I go? That's right, I'll go forwards. 36. So 1 less than 35 is 34. 1 more than 35 is 36. Now, going back to number 35 again, we want to find 10 more or 10 less. Now which way do I go? That's 1 more, that's 1 less. We either go up to find 10 less, so 10 less than 35 is 25. If we go back to 35 again, what if we wanted to find 10 more? Which way would we go? We would go down the 100 square. 10 more than 35 is 45. In your remote learning pack, you will see a 100 square, and you'll be using that 100 square to spot patterns with numbers. So, have a go. If I landed on this number here, 48, can you find 1 more than 48? Can you find 1 less than 48? How about 10 more? And then how about 10 less? Have a practice. And then in computing, you're going to learn to be a TV chef. Who's ever watched a TV chef? Jamie Oliver, Gordon Ramsay. Have you ever seen the programme I Can Cook? You're going to be thinking about writing an algorithm. What's an algorithm? An algorithm is just a set of instructions. And TV chefs need to give a set of instructions to follow a recipe. So what you're going to do for your first step in this project is to have a go at looking at different TV chefs. Watch a Jamie Oliver programme. What is it that he does when he's showing you or he's following his recipe? He looks at the camera, He shows you what to do with his hands and he speaks really slowly and clearly. Next week, we're going to be thinking about filming and recording yourself as a TV chef. In our read this week, we're learning about the Quran. Now that's the special book for people who are a Muslim or follow the religion of Islam. So there is a PowerPoint for you to have a look at. And I just want you to think about, why do people wash their hands before they touch the Quran? Why is it kept in a special blanket? There's a really good clip for you to watch on the Quran. And if you had a Quran in your classroom, where might you keep it? Would you keep it on the floor, or in a dusty old cupboard, or would you keep it in a special place? Perhaps you could think about writing your own rules that would make the world a better place, because the Quran's got lots of stories in it about how to live a good life. In history, we're looking at the history of lighthouses. What do we know about lighthouses already? Why were they invented? What are they used for? And again, we've got some comprehension questions. A comprehension, so there's a little bit of reading about lighthouses, and then there are some questions to answer. Tick 1. A lighthouse warns cars and trains. Do you think that's true or do you think that's false? I think that's false, don't you? Think of, what is it that a lighthouse warns? What vehicle does a lighthouse warn that there's danger coming up? And finally, in PSHE or Jigsaw, we're looking at life cycles. Okay? So all animals, including humans, have a different life cycle. Remember those ducklings that we had in school? They started off as an egg, then the egg hatched, and the ducklings came out. And then later on, the duckling changes again into a duck. So every animal has a life cycle. And in your home learning pack, we have got some cards. We've got some cards, and we'd like you to cut the cards out, jumble them up, and see if you can match up the right life cycles with the correct animal or human. I hope you have lots and lots of fun with the learning that we've put online for you. There is also some talk for writing on there, and it's a story about Saida, a pirate princess. So if you finished all of that work and you like to do something else, there are some extra maths activities. Don't forget Sumdog, and you've got your talk for writing units. Have fun, Year 1. Bye!